Folks, what's up? Welcome to the weekend. This is Michael in the wee hours of the night, once again with your daily trivia question, and I hope you get some rest and relaxation, a little bit of downtime this weekend, and you can spend it with friends and family because you all deserve it, and I appreciate everything that you do. Okay, so the answer to the previous trivia question was, of course, the Stamp Act. The British Stamp Act. In order to pay for British military troops stationed in the American colonies after the French and Indian War, British Parliament imposed a direct tax on the colonies in America. This is one of many that they attempted to do, and it was called the Stamp Act. This required that many printed materials in the colonies be produced on stamped paper produced in London. This included legal documents, magazines, playing cards, basically everything that you could think of, folks. The tax had to be paid in British currency. It was the first internal tax levied directly on American colonists by the British Parliament. They were looking to tap into a revenue source with the colonists. This did not go over very well, as you can quite imagine. Very historically, did not go over very well at all. The colonists felt as if they had already paid their share of war expenses. They were basically like, hey, listen, look somewhere else for your, don't tap into us for a revenue source. Okay, go tap into somebody else, quite frankly. Parliament pushed forward with the Stamp Act, and colonial resistance to the act began to mount slowly at first, but then gained a ton of momentum with stern objectors, fiery orators throughout the colonies, like that of Patrick Henry, for instance. Remember, give me liberty or give me death. This was the resistance to the Stamp Act. Boston Sons of Liberty, the Boston Tea Party, mob rule mentality in seaports and towns and so forth to prevent the Stamp Act, to prevent representatives enforcing the Stamp Act. Basically anything that you could think of to ensure colonial resistance made it impossible for the British government to bring the Stamp Act into effect. You can better believe we were not going to take this. So a year later, Parliament repealed it. They said, okay, all right, we understand, we feel you, we hear you, we feel your pain. We're going to repeal the Stamp Act. However, keep in mind that we will still continue to tax you at will for basically anything that we want to, really, is how they kind of put it. So the colonists, of course, they were like, no, we're not falling for that game either. You can forget about that. We're not going to put up with that. So the issues raised by the Stamp Act festered for 10 years before giving rise to the good old Revolutionary War. All this culminated into the fact that you got yourself an American Revolution on your hands, folks, and ultimately led to American independence. Better believe it. That's what I'm talking about. All right, folks, let's get the weekend started with today's brand new trivia question for March 19th. On this day in 1931, in an attempt to lift the state out of the hard times associated with the Great Depression, Nevada Governor Fred Balzer signs what was known as Assembly Bill 98, which legalized this for the first time. Good luck, folks. Have a good weekend. Be safe. And thanks for all you do. And peace out.